We're going to warm up first, coming onto the mat, feet shoulder width apart with some breath and movement sync work. So we're going to raise our arms, come to the balls of our feet, inhale, exhale, come back to starting position. So as you raise your arms, slowly raise your heels off the mat and exhale, coming back down. Again, inhale. As you inhale, arms are raised, coming to the balls of your feet, find your balance. And exhale, coming down slow. These are really good to sort of bring you right into the present because you got to find your balance, work the breath, syncing with a very simple movement, which is just raising your arms. So it's a really, really fast way to get into the present moment. Okay, just a few more here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, slowly lower it down. So the feet lowers down pretty much the same time as the arms come down. Same thing with going up, nice and slow. Well, as you can see there, I did not coordinate that movement because I was losing my balance and my focus. This is what happens, guys. Don't learn that from me. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, coming back down slowly. Good job. All right, next we're going to work on our balance. So we're going to bring that left knee up to 90 degrees, wrap our hands around it, hug it in, engage our core by gently nudging our belly button in towards our spine. Now next, we're going to raise our arms up if this is comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can stay in the previous position. But this is really good to sort of just, again, work on a static hold, balancing on that right foot. Okay. Right side now. So raise that right knee, 90 degrees, hug it in. Again, you can stay here. Otherwise, we're going to raise our arms up, keeping the side body lengthened, belly drawn in. Focus on balancing on that left leg. Hold. And slowly release down. Good job. Well done. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to work on our mobility on the hips. So bring your arms up, form a fist. Next, you're going to lift that left leg up. And you're going to tighten your entire body. And you're going to draw that knee out and to the side and then to the back. And then lifting it back up to the side and out and to the front. So this is one rep. Okay, so you're pretty much drawing a huge circle or a semicircle, as I would say. With that left knee. Okay, so even if your knee can't go as high as what I'm doing here, try to go to the furthest external limit that you can. Okay, drawing back in. And don't try to rush it, because if you try to rush it, then you're gonna skip through those very sticky areas, which is what you need to work through, rather than, going through the path of least resistance, which is always what the body would want to do because it's easy. But you don't get any improvements from there. All right, drawing it back in, lift as high as you can, and setting that left leg down. So we did about 5 reps there, 5 in, 5 out. We're going to do it the same on the right side now. So we're going to irradiate, really tighten the entire body, lift that right knee up 90 degrees, and drawing back out. So it was a little bit jerky now, my first rep. But as I come back in, it's a lot more control. So try to work with full focus, full intensity. Keep the body tightened. Nothing else moves except the right thigh. And coming back in. Very nice. Inhale and externally rotate. Try to find your balance. So if you find it really hard to balance, you can always use a wall. But I tend not to with this movement because I am trying to improve my balance. Hence, I do it this way. But either way is fine. And drawing back inward, nice and slow with control. One last rep. Drawing back out. And nice and slow drawing back in. Set that right foot down. Okay. Next, we're going to come onto the mat, onto our knees, sitting our buttocks back onto the heels into our hero pose with slight elevation there because we want to stretch out the toes. And then eventually we'll come to the full hero pose where the tops of our feet are on the mat. Gently shift. So what we want to do here is we're going to add in a bit of a lean back, as you can see here, and then come back to our starting position. So we're going to lean in and come off it. Doing it a few rounds. Lean in and come off it. We're just slowly and gradually adding more pressure into the feet and into the shins as well. So we're staying here. Next, we're going to shift the palms towards the back, giving us a bit of support. And what we want to do now is bring the forearms down onto the mat. Nice and slow. See if you can even grab hold of the heels from here. You're going to feel quite an intense stretch in the hip flexors and the front of the thighs. If it's very uncomfortable, you can always back off, come off it, as we are doing so right now. All right. Now we're going to move the mat aside, getting into some locomotion. Today we're going to do some duck walks. So find a starting position. I'm moving to the side because I need to be in frame. So you can start off on the balls of your feet, kind of like what we did in hero pose, or you can start in a full squat position. This is the preferred one, but anyhow, you still need to plant that front foot, or in this case the left foot first, and then sort of add the load towards the front of the ankles and swerve the right thigh out and in towards the front in order to traverse forward, keeping your chest and your upper body upright the whole time. The swerving motion pretty much comes from the hips, where the thighs are going out to the side and coming forward. So you're actually weight shifting from one thigh to the other. All right, going in the opposite direction now. You can lift thigh out to the side, stepping forward, but making sure the chest always face the front. Good. Taking it nice and slow. Requires quite a bit of balance as well. We're just gonna finish up another round. Try to stay in this duck walk position as long as you can. If you can't, you can always stand up, shake the legs out, come back into it. But basically, for this particular program, I'm just doing 2 rounds, but consecutive, so no breaks. Good. And coming back to the other side. So after a while, this will definitely improve as your mobility in your hips, knees, and ankles improve as well. This movement will become quite easy down the line. And we're going to duck walk back to our mat. Almost there. And all right, take a break. Shake those legs out if you need to. Yep, I know what you're thinking. My thighs are burning. Well, that's the whole point. Okay, pull our mat back into position. We're going to get back on it, and we're going to work on the single leg lunge towards the back. So what we will try to do in the beginning is, first we're going to fold our upper body, hinging from the hips to about 30 degrees. And then we're going to lift that left leg towards the back, sort of like a counterweight. And then we're going to bend that right knee. As you see, I'm lifting the leg first, but you're supposed to, yes, bend forward 30 degrees first, then only extend the leg. And then bend that right knee and lower down into a lunge position as slow as you can. This is an eccentric movement. And what it does, it helps you to better prepare on being able to take the load as you come down into a single leg squat, which is also known as a pistol squat. So that's something we're going to work towards to in this program. So lean forward 30 degrees, lift that left leg, extend it back, find your balance, and then slowly bend the knee and push the hip back at the same time. And don't just immediately let it drop. Try to find some control lowering it first to the point where you can't lower anymore and then it has to drop, and then you'll end up in a lunge position. Again, bend the knee, dropping nice and slow, and lower down. Good. We're doing 5 reps on each leg. Lifting up the left again, sending it back, bending the right knee nice and slow, and lower down. And we've done 5, changing sides. So now the right leg is going to come up, but first bend 30 degrees forward, extend the right leg back, slowly lower down, nice and slow with control, and drop. A really good indicator of having a good half single leg squat is when you are able to lower down with control until the hip meets the knee. But you see, even when I'm doing it, I kind of drop before it actually arrives there. So it's quite challenging. So work mindfully, of course, but also take your time with it. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, 30 degrees, bend forward, and bend that left knee down nice and slow. Good. Again, start again. We're not staying in the lunge position long at all. So the idea is to just work on the time under tension when you're lowering down. Good. Let's try again. Oh, that was the last rep. Okay. Me and my shorts, man. I got to get better shorts for this, especially doing leg work. Okay, second set. So now left leg, lift up, extend back, lower down nice and slow. And you see that drop there? Yeah. So you want to minimize that drop. Go as low as you can before actually experiencing that drop. Bend forward 30 degrees, and bend that right knee. So the knee has to shift forward a little bit. I know a lot of people tell that there's this myth that your knee's not supposed to pass your toes. Well, you know what? If you have healthy knees, it really isn't the case. Like, I feel it's a blanket statement. It's because if you're teaching people of a class, like in a class situation, then you would need to make sure that everyone is safe. But by and large, if your knees are not problematic, I would say it's okay to have the knees past the toes. Okay, now we change sides now. So bend forward 30 degrees, lift that right leg, drop the left knee slowly with control, coming to a lunge. Again, bend forward, lift that knee back, slowly lowering it down, and coming into a lunge. Last couple. Bend forward, extend the right leg back, lower down nice and slow with control, into a lunge. Forward bend, extend the leg back, lower down nice and slow with control, and come back off. Whew. Yep, those shorts. Coming down to a downward dog, we're gonna lift the hips as high as we can and grounding the heels. Spread the fingertips, press into the mat, keeping the palms shoulder width apart. You're gonna step that right foot outside of the right hand, and we're gonna stay here, dropping the left knee down, lift the heart, gently nudge back and forth. Feeling the left hip flexor and thigh stretching, as well as the hamstrings on the right side. Next, we're going to lift up that left knee off the mat. Getting a little bit more intense here. We can bring the forearms down. If this is too much for you, you can stay in the previous position. But this is where we want to end up. And again, we're going to gently nudge forward and back, forward and back. just to create a little bit of dynamic movement. Okay, drop that right knee down. We're going to shift that right foot into the center, working into active pigeons. You're going to externally rotate that right knee towards the ground, rolling onto the outer edges of that right foot. We'll do 10 reps here. 4, good, keep going. Working to the maximal limit that you can go, and then coming back into the center with the knee. And on the 10th rep, we're going to hold for 10 seconds here. And hold. Good, coming off it. Stepping back, downward dog. Oh man, those shorts, I tell you. Anyway, left foot this time, stepping forward, outside that left hand. And then dropping the right knee down. So gently nudge forth and back and forth, sorry. And then you're gonna lift that right knee off the mat. Slowly prop the forearms down. Now, if one side is tighter than the other, don't be surprised. It's quite normal. So gently nudge back and forth. And then we're going to move that left foot into the center. Coming to active pigeons, again externally rotating that left knee towards the mat. And coming back to the center for each rep. Good. Try not to force your way into it. Just work towards the outer limits. Once you reach your limit, then come back in. You notice through time with this active type of dynamic stretching, it's actually quite effective. All right, we're going to hold for 10 seconds here. And coming off it. Step back, downward dog. Staying here for just a few seconds. Feel that stretch. And set your knees down. Next, we will do some half splits. So bring your right leg forward into a lunge position. And we're just going to gently extend that knee, making sure our left knee is sitting right below our left hip. And keep the right toes active, pulling inward towards your body. And you're going to try and fold your belly down towards your right thigh, keeping that chest heading forward. And then slowly bring your chest and the forehead down towards your right leg. Again, try to breathe into that stretch using the exhalation phase to get a little deeper. And slowly unbend that right knee. Step forward. We're going to switch sides. So now right leg back. Hips above the knee. Extend the left leg. Shift around to make sure you get that right position. Left toes active. And fold the belly down. And then when you're in your maximum position, bring your chest and your forehead down as well. You know, the temptation is always to just straight away round the back and come into this fold, but it's always good to try and press that belly as far forward as possible, extending from the lower back to get into your full forward bends. Okay, coming out of it, and step the right foot forward into your seated position as we come into an L sit. So sit upright, making sure that the back's not rounded. Toes active. You can use your palms to assist you in elevating that chest. Imagine a string pulling through your breastbone, lifting you forward and up, and the hands assist you there. Now raise your arms up, inhale, exhale, fold the belly down, keep reaching through your fingertips, keeping those toes active. Keep reaching. Once you reach your maximum, then you can gradually bring the hands down onto the shins. Or even big toes. If you can, grab hold of the big toes. Go a little bit deeper. Exhale. And come down. Nice and slow. Finally, you can bring your chest and your chin down when you're ready. Breathe. Nice long breaths. Don't try to hold your breaths in these positions because you'll end up creating more tension in the body rather than relaxation. And relaxation is what we want at this point. Staying here just for a few more breaths. And slowly lift your head up, nice and easy. We're going to retrace our steps, keep extending your fingertips nice and long, and bring them back up, coming into your L-sit. Release the arms. And gently find your way down to the mat. Close your eyes, relax the body, and take rest. Well done, guys. I'll see you in the next workout. Have a great day.